Hello, my name is Michael Neal, and I'm an associate professor of English at Florida State University, where I also serve currently as the director of the graduate program in rhetoric and composition. In 2019-20, our Reading Writing Center and Digital Studio that we call the RWCDS was certified by the Southeastern Writing Center Association. That was really key for us in this moment because in 2019, we were transitioning from a longtime writing center director, Dr. Stephen McElroy, who was leaving for another institution. And when we started the process, we didn't know who the interim director would be. Ended up being Dr. Jude Marr. They're working here now in an interim position for a couple years. So when a few graduate students approached Stephen and me about applying for this certification, we were hesitant, not because we had any questions or doubts about the RWCDS, but really because we didn't know if this was the right timing. But this group of absolutely fabulous graduate students really led the effort. And so it was Camilla Albert, who is an advanced PhD student, who led the effort, but with great help from Catherine Kelly, Amanda May, Sydney Turner, Noah Patterson, Gabby Diaz, and Amanda Presswood. So it's a group of 7 of them, 3 PhD students and 4 MA students who really had the idea to apply for this certification and did the work. And this work was significant. It took them about 6 months to write it up. I think it was over 100 pages by the time they were finished with all the documentation. But this was really key for us because in many ways, it was both looking back and projecting forward in the work that is going on in the RWCDS. You see, part of the process is really thinking about documenting what's happening currently. Over the last maybe 10 to 15 years, our Reading Writing Center Digital Studio has gone through a pretty radical transformation. One, the digital studio was added to it, but the whole philosophy and approach to Writing Center had changed fairly dramatically, really under the guidance and direction of Dr. Kathleen Yancey. But also with an extraordinary group of graduate students who have always been pivotal in leading the effort in these spaces. We have leadership roles that graduate students take in the RWCDS, from being assistant directors of multiple spaces on campus, to being computer classroom coordinators, hosting some digital symposium events and so forth. And so we had done an enormous amount, they had done an enormous amount over the last 10 to 12 years in just establishing a stellar reputation around campus, a very purposeful tutoring and consulting practice, both in print and online. We had been developing a graduate student writing center, a portion of that, online tutoring even before COVID. And a number of important initiatives that were almost always led by very thoughtful graduate students. Florida State has long been a destination place for graduate students who are interested in research and practice in writing centers and digital studios. And even though we have transitioned leadership several times throughout the process over the last 15 years that I've been here, it's really the graduate students who have just sort of continued this effort, and who have continued to have leadership roles and positions even as they train undergraduate tutors, involved in tutor and consultant education, imagine different initiatives. Our Reading Writing Center Digital Studio houses like the National Day on Writing, a number of interesting internship possibilities. They do professional development with the tutors who are in the space. And it's quite an impressive operation. And so a lot of the work of applying for this certification was documenting and collecting the information and the things that we have been doing for the last 10 to 15 years. However, equally important, I think, is that we're projecting forward into where we want to go as an RWCDS. It gave us an opportunity to reflect on current practice, but also to project and say, what are our strengths? What are we doing well? How do we need to evolve to meet the changing needs of students and staff and faculty within these spaces? And so the certification process also gave us an opportunity to look forward and to plan, even as we are thinking about what the future leadership looks like in the RWCDS. The most rewarding thing to me was seeing the efforts of our graduate students realized in this certification process. They worked so hard. Um, they um, they were organized. They wrote up some really incredible documentation that helps not only not only just for the certification, but also provides us a lot of documentation, even as we continue to explain the purpose, the need, and the direction that we are going as an RWCDS, even within our internal community at FSU. So I couldn't be more thrilled by this group getting awarded the certification. I think 4 of them were able to go to the conference back in February, right before everything shut down for COVID, and receive this award. And so I can't speak highly enough about the graduate students who are part of our Reading Writing Center Digital Studio at Florida State. And I know that their efforts will continue to pay off for the undergraduate students, the graduate students, the faculty, the staff who continue to use our Reading Writing Center and Digital Studio. So we thank the Southeastern Writing Center Association for the opportunity, and also for recognizing us with this certification.